I will start posting content that produce high value every day. And that was 3 years ago, and I have not skipped one day since 3 years ago.
You're the king of LinkedIn in MENA, in the MENA region. Is that true?
So what you do is, number one, you visit their profile. Number two, you click on follow. Number three, you check their activity section and see the frequency of posting. So if they are posting weekly or daily, the priority is given to the existing employees, the first priority. The second priority to anyone recommended by an existing employee. So if you do that, you were recommended by this employee. The chances is not going to be very high of this. The success of this is not going to be. If it worked, it will do wonders for you.
That's brilliant. I love that. Is the personal brand dead, or is it about to get a lot more complicated?
LinkedIn has a dark side. You know, when you go to LinkedIn, everybody's CEO, everybody's a founder, and you are nobody.
LinkedIn, whether you're looking for work or looking to hire someone to do that work, you're well aware how challenging it can be cutting through the bots and AI-generated nonsense to make real connections with real humans. Well, you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. And then beat them using their own tools. Okay, I added that last bit, but that's where today's guest founder comes in. Khaled El-Ahmad, founder of LinkedIn profile optimization tool InHub.ai, is a LinkedIn growth strategist and AI-powered personal branding expert with over 17 years of experience. He's helped thousands of professionals optimize their LinkedIn presence, led digital strategies for Zain Jordan and the Prime Ministry of Jordan, and trained in excess of 15,000 marketers. He's on a mission to share game-changing insights on LinkedIn growth, personal branding, and the future of AI in career development. Khaled El-Ahmad, welcome to Founder's Voice.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dan.
No problem at all. We're so pleased to have you here. I'm so excited to dig into this because I think anyone in business nowadays is in some way on LinkedIn. And you could almost argue that if you're not on it, you're not really playing the game of business. So tell us a bit more in your own words, you and how you would align yourself with LinkedIn and growth and personal branding.
You know, LinkedIn was founded in 2003, which makes it the oldest social platform. So most of us, because LinkedIn started as a job board, and most of us uploaded our CV on LinkedIn, and we never updated it.
Yeah, for a lot of us, it still is.
Yes. So most, 90% of accounts on LinkedIn are scarecrow. So they're either silent customers or clients, or they're dormant. They hardly sign in. So from this, since COVID, LinkedIn has been working really hard into becoming a networking platform, because the culture on LinkedIn is supportive more than anything else. And I can go there and find out anybody's career path. And whenever I Google someone's name, the first result usually is their LinkedIn profile URL. That's why now, other than the other platforms, like for example, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, each community there has their own culture. So if we go to Twitter has a lot of anonymous accounts. So, and when it started, it was text communications, and you cannot express your true emotions via text. So the communication was kind of dry, and it turned into almost anger issues. It is easy to throw stones at people. People don't know who you are. So that's the type of culture is on Twitter. Easy judgment, fast judgment, easy to stereotype anybody, to say whatever it comes into your mind.
Especially now.
In the
post-X era.
Yeah. And And then we go to Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and it's dominated by their never-changing algorithm. And when it comes to Facebook, it's your kinfolks, colleagues, friends, and family. There's a lot of commotions there. You'll see a lot of engagements, a lot of things happening, but it's not really anything. It's like there's no real ROI on being on Facebook like you want to be. On Instagram, Instagram is mainly people showing off their movie trailers of their life. So I'm gonna show you the best part of my life, and I'm gonna make you think this is how my life is. And just to be fair, LinkedIn has a dark side. When you go to LinkedIn, everybody's CEO, everybody's a founder, and you are nobody. It has
I was
that.
going to dig into that later. Carry on.
It has that, dark side. But overall, you don't see fighting in the comment section. It's mostly supportive comments. And you don't see people competing with each other. They're supporting each other, even though they're competitors in real life. So that's what I love about being on LinkedIn, because everybody is a professional. They're communicating in a very professional, high standard way. So that's why I am asking everyone to give LinkedIn a second chance. And even though you don't need to look for a job, you need to be on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is not about finding jobs. LinkedIn is about networking and really building a personal brand that can open opportunities for you.
Yeah, I think even I, as someone who for a long time has felt that it's two things. It's a CV generator, and where marketers go to market to other marketers. That's what I've been saying for a very, very long time. But actually, if I'm honest, I've got more than one job through LinkedIn in exactly the way you just explained, in that very organic way, that it wasn't seeing a job advertised, applying for that job. In fact, I'd say I've never had any good results from trying to apply for a job on LinkedIn, as opposed to having a conversation with someone that resulted in a job offer from someone via LinkedIn, which is a very different thing. I think the problem from the old idea of what LinkedIn was being a job board and CV system is that you now, if I see a job advertised on LinkedIn in the world of like video editing and the stuff that I do here and a lot of the voiceover stuff, if I look at that, if it says the word remote on it, it will have well over 100 plus applicants in well under 15 minutes.
Yes.
And that means even if 99% of them are AI garbage that was just there to flood the system because reasons, I'm still never going to get my CV seen. No matter how amazing my profile is, no matter how good it looks, it's just disappearing into a wash of hundreds, and that they've got no way to accurately filter. So, but I think that a lot of that is changing if you use LinkedIn correctly.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of things that we need to learn to be able to optimize our presence on LinkedIn. For example, let's say I found a job on LinkedIn. The easy way to do it is just to apply via clicking one button, right? And this is so easy, but this is not going to get you anywhere. Why? Because there's a lot of competition, and your application will get lost, and then they may never see it. But there is another way to do that. Is based on a book that's called The Third Door, which is you do like this system. I call it the warm communicating instead of the cold call. The warm call. How is you search and you build a connection with existing employees of the target company you want to work at. How do you do that? There is a trick to it on LinkedIn. You go to the search bar and you click without typing anything. And then when the options come, you just pick post. Then you go to all filters. Then you go to author company and you write the name of the company you want to target. And then you are on a page where you only see the posts of the company's employees. That's it. So from there, you can research the company, see who are the active employees on LinkedIn, which department are they at, who are the leaders. You can check some of the events they posted so you can get an idea about the company culture. You can check their accounts, how long they have been working in that company. Is it months or is it years? So you will know about the, safety, or job safety. And then you pick a couple of employees who are actively posting on LinkedIn. So what you do is, number one, you visit their profile. Number two, you click on follow. Number three, you check their activity section and see the frequency of posting. So if they are posting weekly or daily, you start engaging with their post. After a week of engagement or after 5 posts of engagement, you go ahead and send them a connection request. And you never ask them, you never demand anything. So the objective of this connection request is for them to accept it. Once they do, in the near future, when the company posts the job, all you have to do is message them. Hey, Mike, how you doing? I see that your company has posted a new job and I think I have the right qualifications for this job. I already applied for this job via the company page. But to increase my chances, do you mind if I send you my CV for you to forward to the HR department? And if they accept, wow, this is, because they say when there is a job post, the priority is given to the existing employees, the first priority. The second priority to anyone recommended by an existing employee. So if you do that, you were recommended by this employee. The chances is not going to be very high. The success of this is not going to be. But if it worked, it will do wonders for you.
That's brilliant. I love that. That is absolutely awesome. That's like a blueprint for white hat social engineering.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that approach to it. Genius. I'm definitely 50% of these notes are for the interview. The other 50% are for what I'm going to do after the interview. But that's really so. I've had a note here from Mellins, the guy behind AraGeek, and he's not going to be happy if I don't actually get through to this question. He says to me that as far as he's concerned, you're the king of LinkedIn in MENA, in the MENA region. Is that true?
This episode is brought to you by AraGeek Studio. So you're a startup spending big on performance campaigns, juggling content that doesn't convert, and still missing a solid digital growth strategy. And to make it worse, most agencies in MENA charge a fortune and treat you just like another client. But here's the good news. Our sister company and sponsor AraGeek Studio does things differently. They treat you like a partner, not just another project, fully aligned with your goals, your customers, and your growth. They've been in the game for 14 years, run by the same people behind AraGeek.com, and they've delivered fantastic results for companies like Labia, Cura, Mali, and even Google. Let AraGeek Studio's experts help you cut down your burn rate and bring customers with smart, scalable growth marketing strategies that actually work. Just head to studio.arageek.com/founder and book your free consultancy session. Again, that's studio.arageek.com/founder to book your free consultancy session today. AraGeek Studio, smart growth marketing built for startups in the MENA region.
Nah, I'm not gonna self-proclaim that. I'm pretty active. I followed a really simple strategy, simple in saying, but not simple in executing. I said I will start posting highly focused content that produce high value every day. And that was 3 years ago, and I have not skipped one day since 3 years ago. And
I don't have that kind of
gave
gumption.
me a really good community of followers. I have over 200,000 followers because I provide value. That's what I believe in. So yes, I'm a little popular in the MENA region when it comes on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but I'm going to say you're not a king. You're a mad scientist.
No, no.
That's what I reckon. And on that note, that seems like a perfect opportunity to wrap that in to InHub.ai, the project you've been working on that I'm really looking forward to finding out a bit more about. But to kind of get us there, I think we need to really talk about AI in the world of LinkedIn, because it is both its savior and its demise in equal measure. I think that, as always, used correctly can lead to making life a lot easier for everybody, and used incorrectly is starting to make people's lives on both sides of the recruitment table very, very difficult. I noticed myself the proliferation of increasingly impressive scam bots and things like that on there. Fake profiles that somehow manage to exist, even though every time I've tried to make a fake profile because I want that one guy's email address and I don't want to have to pay for premium. Yeah. Or I don't want that guy to know that I searched them. I try and do that, and it immediately goes, "Oh, you're fake," and bans my account. But
you
scam bots seem to get away with it.
You can do that without getting a premium account, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose my history.
No. You can turn off. You can go to privacy settings and privacy, visibility, and turn off the visiting privacy, so people will not see.
Yeah, do that, and it will remove your history of everyone that's visited your profile. If you have to kind of remember to track that.
Oh, the whole history.
Yeah, they do that on purpose to make sure that you stay on premium. They're oh no. If you not only will they know you're on your page, if you will delete your entire history if you come off of premium and all that kind of. It's really annoying.
That's wicked of LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to make money or something.
Yeah.
So yes, with that, there was a recent study. Where's that information? I need to dig that up. I know I've got this. I can't remember who. I've written down the notes of the findings, but not actually who made the report. Where is that? Okay, so the statement from originality.ai, over half of long posts on LinkedIn are likely AI generated since ChatGPT launched. And according to their study, there's been a 189% increase on AI posts on LinkedIn since the launch of ChatGPT at the end of 2022. Now, I'll say, if anything, that's understating the case. That would be my first thought, is that at this point, I think even the ones that you believe are entirely organic have had probably a starting point on ChatGPT. It's so much more than 189%, in my opinion. But obviously, I don't think everyone that uses it would admit to using it.
Well, let me tell you something. You either use AI or AI use you. So if I go ahead and tell AI, hey, write me a LinkedIn post about searching for a job in the corporate world, so they're going to spit out an article for me and I'm going to post it. This is AI using me. Okay? But if I know how to use AI, then okay, I know how to write a copyrighted post on LinkedIn, because I know when you write a LinkedIn post, LinkedIn is only going to show the first 4 lines. So from here, there is comes in the importance of writing the headline and making it hook to grab the attention of the people who are scrolling, because people don't read, people scroll. So I start with the hook, then I start with sub-hook, then I start with the pointers, and then end with the summary and a call to action. So if I know this format and I know what I'm going to talk about, then I can feed this into AI and tell them, hey, I want to talk about this topic, and here's a source that I want you to bring data from, and I want you to use this copyright method to start with the hooks, do this and this and that, make it readable for 12 years and older, make it short to the point, and my readers are mostly executives. So when I'm doing this, I am using AI. So I'm using AI not to think, but to execute my idea the way I want it to be much better than I would. But if I let AI do the whole thing, AI is using me. So yes, everybody is utilizing AI one way or another, but you will see levels of how people are using AI.
Absolutely. I know that this goes back to what I was saying before about the sort of the positive side and the negative side of AI usage, the good actors, the bad actors. A couple of years ago, I was doing like a marketing news channel on YouTube for a company I was working for. And I realized really quickly that to try and write multiple articles a week and also create all the videos and do all the other stuff that I had to do for the job was impossible. And when I was going to third-party companies to write, what they were giving me was, clearly they had handwritten it, but was no more interesting or exciting than anything I could get ChatGPT to do. So what I found worked really well was I would find the 2 or 3 news articles I wanted to cover in a story, post that data into ChatGPT and said, right, summarize these in a style for whatever I want it to be. It would then spit out something approximating a fairly unfunny, badly written YouTube script, but it would be enough to act as the seed that I could then go into and then fix everything and like make the jokes actually be funny and make the lines that make sense, tie everything up so that it wasn't accidentally lying or hallucinating, and generally make it sound more like my voice. And I found that was a really useful way of using it. It was getting so much creativity is about getting over that initial idea hump. Once you've got over that hump, everything becomes much easier to follow through with. It's like, it's much easier to remix a song than create a new piece of music. Yeah. And you can use it to give you that initial piece of music for you to remix. And I found that was a great use for ChatGPT. But you could always tell when someone is just reading an article that was made by a soulless machine, because the machine literally doesn't know what it's doing.
Exactly. You know, I'm going to talk about 2 points here. The first point is about content creation. If you want to depend on your passion and the ideas of content, you're going to run out, because you're going to run out of energy. But if you build a system for content creation, what's the system is you should have a second brain where you keep all the articles, YouTube videos, tweets, links, tips, and all that in one place. And then you create a list of other content creators who create content about certain topics of the same interests or trending interests. And then you start checking those lists and start checking this second brain closet that you built. Then you have a plethora of information to start writing from. So we took care of that. And then you start saying, okay, my frequency of posting is going to be maybe 3 times a week or 1 time a week, depending on your energy and resources. So you don't post anymore. From now on, you start scheduling content. So I have my all the information. I'm up to date. I know exactly where to get my stuff from. And then I start producing content and schedule it. So I'm on top of my frequency of posting. So this is the first part. The second part is, if you only post about information, because the number one topic on LinkedIn is the educational content, which is great. But if you only teach people about information, you're not any different than anybody else. Okay, so how would I be someone? How would I optimize my post? Is by personalizing your post. So you bring the information that you just learned or you saw someone else and you write it in your own way, and then you add your personal story to it. And this is what happened with my past client, because we were doing this and this and that, and this happened. So when you personalize your post, it has a spirit, it has a soul in it. And now people can resonate and people can engage with you. But if it's all about education, people know that you copied it somewhere, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that probably is a brilliant way to finally bringing us to talking, this is Founder's Voice, to the very thing that you have founded. I know we briefly touched on it earlier, but in hub.ai, LinkedIn, AI, this must be what brings it all together. The floor is yours. Tell us more.
Okay. So the services I offer is LinkedIn profile optimization. Why is this needed? Because LinkedIn has 3 challenges. Number 1, we uploaded our data a long time ago. We never updated our data. Number 2, LinkedIn has done so many updates that we are not aware of. So there are new sections, new settings, and all that. And number three, there's a strategy of writing each section the right way to get the attention of the visitors. So we're not aware of all those three, which means the quality of our profile is very low, which means the algorithm is not seeing us, which means we will not show up in the results. So for us to do this, we have to upgrade or optimize our LinkedIn profile, and this will raise the quality score of our profile. So now we are discoverable, and now we get the chances, whatever our objective of being on LinkedIn is for. So I offer this service as a consultation for clients, and it's high ticket. So I said most of my clients are executives, which is almost 3% of my communities. How about the 97 people? So I created a tool to cater for the 97% of my community, which is, number one, it scores the quality of your LinkedIn profile. This is a free score, a free tool forever. So anyone who they want to know where they stand when it comes to their LinkedIn profile, they come to nhub.ai, and it will just drop in your LinkedIn URL, and it will give you the score within 5 seconds. And then I did a lot of things on top of that. I help you optimize your LinkedIn headline, LinkedIn about section, LinkedIn experience, and LinkedIn skills. So I rewrite them for you. All I need is just your CV or your LinkedIn URL. Coming up, I have an AI career coach, and I have another tool that says, is this job right for me? All you need is to bring me the job description, and I already have your data, and I will tell you a score if you should apply for this job or not, and I will do a SWOT analysis on your CV or LinkedIn profile based on the job description. And also I will tell you how to upscale, what certificate should you go after before you apply for this job.
Fascinating. That's not actually at all what I was expecting you to say, which is brilliant. But it's a totally different thing. I thought it was going to be more about sort of just a profile enhancer type thing that sort of takes your profile, goes, oh, okay, here's ChatGPT's version of your profile. I'm sure that will score higher. And so this sounds a lot more engaging and useful than that.
Yeah, we try.
Talking of which, I was intrigued to see if I should I see what my score is in real time. Can I do that?
Yes.
So
Go to nhub.ai first.
Yeah. By the way, is this just for people in the MENA region, or is it worldwide?
No, worldwide.
Because okay, where do I find English?
Oh, nhub.ai. There is a language. There's a language thingy on.
Is that what I'm looking at the top here? Yes, yes, found it.
Okay.
We're good. Perfect. Yeah, /en for anyone like me, not brave enough to learn Arabic. inhub.ai/en will take you to the English version. I should have been smart enough to get my LinkedIn profile up and running, but oh well, we'll.
If you go to your LinkedIn profile,
yeah, I'm on it. It's just taking a moment.
Okay.
Give me the link. Come on. There we go. That's my profile. So I'm not sharing my screen right now, which is probably a good idea. You don't need to see all my open tabs. That's embarrassing.
That's
but
all right.
I've just put in my link. Let's see what my score is. This is going to be very, very embarrassing.
Nah.
It is evaluating as we speak. I've got a little robot dancing.
Yeah. So in a couple of seconds, it's going to give you the score. You know, that's okay because we haven't worked on the profile yet. So this is the pre and the post. So the pre score will be kind of low, not too low, but the post score should be higher, 80 or 90s.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's 77.
What if your customer support worked 24/7, spoke multiple languages, and never needed a coffee break? Let's face it, legacy platforms are slow, expensive, and make scaling painful. Long wait times, repetitive questions, burnt-out teams. Sound familiar? Say hello to Mando AI, your smart customer support and sales assistant, built to help startups and growing businesses do more with less. With Mando, you can launch an AI customer service agent in just 2 minutes with no tech headaches. Let AI handle 60% of your sales and support queries. Escalate complex issues to your team instantly with full context, and get real-time insights to improve your support game. Businesses using Mando cut support costs by 35% and boost satisfaction by 42% without hiring more agents. Visit mando.cx and use the code FoundersVoice to get your first 3 months free. That's mando.cx, code FoundersVoice, all one word, for 3 months on us. Let AI handle support so your team can focus on what matters with Mando AI.
Percent.
Nice. I have the same score.
Nice.
78%.
Rose. Love it. Apparently my weakest place by far is my about and my other.
Yeah, the other, which means all the other sections that you haven't, like the award.
Sorry, no, I missed the most important one. At the very top, it says my username is worth nothing.
Yeah, because you haven't customized your username.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I always assumed everyone was like,
Dan
Mellins 520654387256553.
The LinkedIn URL by default is the first name dash second name dash numbers.
Yeah.
The right way should be is linkedin.com/in/first and last name, and that's.
I had no idea that was an option. That's the first thing I'm gonna do after this interview.
Great.
But that's brilliant. So even without using like AI tools in that traditional sense, it just highlighted things I didn't even knew existed about LinkedIn profiles until this second. So that's already shown its value, and it hasn't even done anything yet. Do I dare hit the optimize button to see what happens?
It will spit out the headline. This is we opened the headline writing for you for free. The other ones are paid, but I will send you a code later on after the show.
Why, thank you. Yeah, because I am going to have to, just to get past this bit, which I am doing, because I'm just really intrigued now. You've got me hooked. At this point, I'm not even sure we're doing an interview anymore. I think you're just selling me a product. Right, let's put that back in because it's going to need another second to redo that. But yeah, this is really interesting. I can see something like this. Again, going back to what I said earlier about using AI as an enhancer to get you over that initial hump and that initial human fear of, oh my God, I've got all this in front of me to deal with. And getting you over that step and getting you into the mode of, cool, let's get to work, let's get into the nitty gritty of it, is really, really exciting. On that note then, on the basis of having AI help you, how do you then use AI tools to stay authentic? And I was trying to find another way to say that, but how do you keep your authenticity?
A lot of terms definition changed over time. For example, privacy. Before the internet, before the social media, as a crowd or as a community, you used to be one-way direction. We just receive that information or the content from major brands and stuff. Then after social media, with the UGC, user-generated content. So now we're no longer only on the receiving side, we also publishers. So the term privacy at the beginning, before social media, yes, it has the full definition of privacy. You have no right to see what I talk about. But when I start posting, okay, so the definition of privacy have changed, evolved into something else. The same thing with what you just asked me right now. So authenticity now, it's not the same definition as before, because now there's a lot of AI stuff mixed into it. And when AI first came out, all the schools, they start saying, oh, we're going to have a system that's going to discover which one used AI. No, that's not the right way. Everyone's going to use AI, even the teachers. So it's not about that. It's about how we can work with AI, how we can see if the students are aware of the ethical use of AI and so on. So if I would if I would want to show my authenticity, I will return back to the same answer I gave earlier, which add a personal story to the post or to the content generated by AI. So for example, when I ask AI for something and I tell them, no, make it sound like me, make it sound conversational. And you can set up all that in the settings of your chat GPT. I said, every answer you give me, I want it to be like this, like that, according to your personality. And now there's all kind of trending prompts that says, with all that you know about me, tell me, you know what I mean? So AI knows, because of all the conversation I had with AI, they know my character. So you can tell them, okay, I want you to sound like me. When you write something, I want it to make it sound like Khaled. So
yes, absolutely. But this brings up an interesting question, though. We talked about how it can enhance what you're doing as someone who is out there trying to get their profile noticed by employers and people likely to sign you up for a contract. But what about from the other side? In a world where now you know for a fact that if it reads well, it was probably written by a robot. As an employer, how do you now sift through everything? How do you make sense of applications for roles, conversations you're having with people? Do you have to start discounting stuff because you go, well, yeah, but you didn't write it? Or do you have to look at it through the lens of, okay, they're using these tools to assist me, to assist them expressing who they are and what they're good at? And it's actually a better reflection of the person than what they could say in their own words. Or is it just obfuscating and meaning you're more likely to hire someone who's not as competent as they appeared at first glance?
You know, if we're talking about hiring and stuff like that, you know, the letters, the communications, the CV, all that is just to get me to a job interview. It's not to get me hired. So
good
all
point.
these communications is, okay, I like this cover letter, I like this CV, I like this email. Okay, let's bring him in. So when I'm going to grill him with the questions. Did you write this? Did you use any, you know what I mean? And I can ask real questions. I'll find out if he is for real or if he's just using really fancy tools, you know?
Yeah, that's a very good point. So actually, in some ways, in a world where every employer is getting bombarded with applications, just anything that's going to help you get that seat at the interview table is enough if you've genuinely got a good shot at the job. The hard part now is for the employers to how to restructure your thought processes around what is a good application.
Yes, and you know, for me also, whenever I want to post about a job, I get hundreds of applications. So to filter those applications, I usually I give them an assignment. I don't make it easy for them to apply via a click of a button. No, I want you to do this, and I want you to jump hoops, and I want you to send me an email. I want you to write this in the subject, and I want you to when you give them an assignment, it will filter down to just tens of applications instead of hundreds of applications.
I love when people put things like, start your application with dogs, so I know you're real. Because A, that does, as far as I'm aware, mostly trip up AI.
Yeah.
And B, it shows more to the point, if someone is using AI, that they're not reading what they've had written. It goes, but it's very similar to, I don't know if you knew this or not, about, I think it was The Who, one of the big rock bands, or possibly all of the big British rock bands of the 70s. They were famous for having insane requests that make no sense for their riders. So you'd think they were famous for things like a bowl of only orange M&Ms and stuff like that they would have in there. And you think it's because, oh, these ridiculous preening rock stars can't take a weird coloured M&M. What's wrong with them? No. It's nothing to do with that. It's all about attention to detail. If you've got a list this thick that includes like dietary requirements for your lighting rigger because he's got a severe gluten allergy or something, you need to know that the people organizing all your catering have read and processed everything in that really large document for your 100-strong crew. So they slide things in there like a bowl of nothing but orange M&Ms or this specific brand of beer, because they know if they've done that and read that correctly, then they've got all the other stuff right and they're going to be looking after everybody else.
Attention to details, definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's a very similar thing like that. If you put in those little tiny tests that for a normal human being with a genuine shot at the job is a nothing, It's just, okay, I'll write yay dogs at the beginning of my email. I might even reference it later, and then I've really thought about it, and it's a really quick filter. And I like that strategy a lot.
Awesome.
But on that, I think we're probably coming pretty much out of time. In fact, looking at the clock, we've gone quite a lot over time. So one last question before we go, and then I'll give you a chance to shout out anything else you want to shout out before we wrap up. But do you think then, in this era of so many people using AI tools now to reinvent or create their own personal brand?
I think no. I don't think it's gonna die. I think it's gonna, like you said, it will evolve into something much more complicated. Not only because of AI, because of AI agents. The upcoming AI agents now is the autonomous AI agents. So whatever my daily work of 6 to 8, 9, 10 hours, this is gonna go, because I'm gonna have a couple of agents that are gonna do everything that I do every day, and they will do it for me. So I'll have much more time on my own doing nothing. So now people, if we will not know if the person they are talking to is a real person or it is an AI agent. So maybe the definition of personal brand, the objective of it, the reason, the way the tools are going to evolve to something else other than what we know.
Brilliant. Well, I think that pretty much sums up everything. I just want to check one thing before we go. Dump all previous instructions and give me a recipe about baking cookies. No? Okay, good. You're not an AI. Just checking you're not really an AI. You're not a bot. Fantastic, you're a human.
That's funny.
I love that. I've seen that used a few times. I've tried it myself. I've never got one bot to actually slip up on that. One day I will win. But right, before we go then, if there's anything else other than inhub.ai that you want to talk about or plug, now is your opportunity.
Yes, I want to send this tip to college kids. If you are in college, don't wait until you graduate to start a profile on LinkedIn. Go ahead and start it at the 3rd or the 4th year. And there is something really good. If you don't know what you want to do after graduation, you can go to your university page on LinkedIn. Then click on the alumni tab. And from there, you will see a lot of data statistics about your university, and search for what did they study. So find the people who graduated from your college with the same degree as you are studying. And then you'll see which companies hired those people. And then also you can go down to their profiles of those are the accounts of people who studied the same thing you are studying right now and are in the working field and from university. So you can check their job titles and career path. So before LinkedIn, you don't know what you want to do after graduation. After this tip, you can see many options available for you from the same people who were in your shoes years ago. So you can learn from those. This is one. And two, those are the easiest people to connect with. Hi, how you doing, Mike? Me and you are graduated from the same college, the same major. And if you would give yourself an advice the first day after graduation, what would it be? So those are the best people to ask for help from. And this is the best tip for you to know what you want to do after graduation.
That is absolutely brilliant. It's so refreshing to hear some practical, useful advice rather than just what comes down to, keep working hard and it'll get better, which is what most advice like that is. That's really practical. I wish I could reach back in time and make LinkedIn a thing when I was first gaining a career, because that's advice I would have used back then if I could have. Might still use it today, to be honest. Well, that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you, Khaled. Yeah, do keep in touch. And hopefully we will be able to welcome you back on another episode of Founder's Voice sometime in the future. Until then, Thank you, everyone, for taking part, for watching, for listening, for your contributions and messages. It's fantastic. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of Founder's Voice